Welcome back to Boys and Ghouls Film Review, guys. I'm your host, Sarah Stephenson. This is my co-host, Mike Stephenson.
Hey, everybody.
And in our last episode, we were trying to debate on which
Irwin Allen.
Irwin Allen's TV show we should review.
Hey, before we go on, Irwin Allen, to some of you younger guys who might not know who Irwin Allen is, I'll give you a quick rundown of his filmography a bit, so you might remember some of these names, more so from the TV series. He had Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. He was the creator and the producer. The Time Tunnel, creator-producer. Lost in Space, creator-producer. Land of the Giants, creator-producer. A series called The Swiss Family Robinson. I've never seen. He was a producer. And something called Code Red is producer on. Now, I won't go through the television movies because I don't know much of those, but the main screen films, everyone must be aware of the original Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, starring Walter Pigeon, and The Poseidon Adventure, Towering Inferno. This man could do TV just as easily as doing movies, and he was very adaptable.
Yeah, unlike the movies, which he did really okay with, but with the TV series, he leaves you wondering what happens to the characters in the story.
Yeah, the problem is a lot of his series is working on, no matter how good they were,
no matter how many good reviews you get,
and everything else, that the studios, the people financing him said, no, we're not going to fund the second season that's been canned, or the third season, or the fourth season, or the fifth season. And it leads to, hang on, what happened to these people? It's like in the guy who did Gilligan's Island. They cut that last season out, or whatever, and they were stuck on the island. There wasn't any closure. I mean, you would think, okay, we're not going to go for another season. Let's write one or two to get them off the island, or in this case, off the time loop or something or other, and actually have a bit of closure, so there's something happening here, but we're just leaving it hanging there.
Yeah.
And
Okay, guys.
yeah, no, it's just annoying.
So tonight we'll be reviewing his The Time Tunnel.
Exactly, one of my favourites.
Yeah, I do like The Land of the Giants, but I put up a poll on Facebook to find out from you guys which ones you want me to review. So we've decided to go with
the fans have decided.
With the Time Tunnel.
Yeah. Now, the reason being we're doing this Irwin Allen stuff because we are impressed with him, and obviously there's people out there who are aware of him because they voted on Facebook. So
yeah, another thing about this is when you think they tried to make a remake of it, and they did a pilot episode in 2006, and it didn't get any much.
It didn't go anywhere.
Anyway,
I'll jump straight. Okay, I've already said creating and different things in the list I just said, but just to be consistent, this series, the Time Tunnel, obviously it's a science fiction TV series. 1966, 1967, created by Irwin Allen. Production companies, Irwin Allen Productions, Kent Productions Incorporated, and 20th Century Fox Television.
If they're looking for a reference point, if I ever had to think of any most likely show that makes me think of, that's related to the Time Tunnel, it makes me think of The Sliders. Even though that deals with different dimensions and different times and different.
Well, Jumpers was more of just going from point to point. Wasn't going through time, was it?
No.
Yeah. So, but it was similar. Because you go from there, whoop, there you go, and and then Butterfly Effect took you through time.
Yeah, it did.
Anyway, irrespective, the cast. Well, there is lots of cast, obviously, in a TV series, especially with different scenarios, but the mainstay people, we had James Darren playing Dr. Anthony Newman, Tony to his friends. Robert Colbert played Dr. Douglas Phillips, Doug for short. Whit Bissell, he's been in a lot of movies over the years. Lieutenant General Hayward Kirk. John Zaremba plays Dr. Raymond Swain. He's been in a few things over the years too. And the female part, no, I don't know what to put last. Lee Merriweather. I've always liked Lee. She plays Dr. Anne McGregor.
And love interest to, I think, one
Is
of
it
the
Tony or Doug?
I'm not sure.
Well, it's a bit hard. It's a long distance relationship. He's a couple hundred years ago, or in the future, or.
Well, he's good looking, and both men are
Could be Doug. I think he might be a bit older for Tony. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I wasn't paying attention to the love
I think
interest.
it's the older guy that you liked.
Yeah, Dougie. Well, he wasn't bad looking.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll just say a couple of quick thingy wingies, and Sarah can take over her little bit.
Well, I'm not going to review all the episodes.
No, we're going to talk about the pilot and then and pick a few things out of some of the other episodes and stuff and where it took you. The main part for me was that a series like this, even though it's fiction, they jump from historical site or place or time to another one. And they went to a lot of, in this series, over 30 episodes, most of them were real historical things. They did a couple of futuristic things. Obviously, you had to be jumping in the future as well, so they made those ones up. But most of them had things like this one, the Titanic, the Walls of Jericho, the Siege of Jericho. They went Little Bighorn, the Alamo, places like that. They appeared in different times when things were happening. So interesting. So they had had the ideas already there from history, so they can build a story around, which is great. Anyway, I don't think I want to say anything more. Do you want to take over telling what happened?
So I'll tell you the pilot episode. Okay, they're building this time tunnel that will allow them to go through time. And the government, the senator, comes around and tells them that they're going to cut their funding down.
Yeah, because it's been going for about 10 years. There's no proof that time tunnel activities are actually going to work.
Speaking of cutting funds, when they were trying to think of a season 2 for this, the time tunnel, the production company, whoever they were, wanted to cut dear old Irwin's budget in half.
In half? Ever?
Well, in a third, anyway.
Or whatever, yeah, wow.
But which dear old he didn't really like very much.
Well, you can't make it out of nothing. You can't use paper mache and stuff all the time.
No, that's true. I mean, there's some. I mean, it's gonna be. It'll be very difficult, not just relying on. He relies on a little bit of stock footage from previous other movies here and there.
Actually, that's one of his fortes. He was good at recycling stuff. He used old props. Some old stock footage from other movies, which were part of the studios. Well, they had permission to do it because they had the rights to films. So the main parts were the control room, the time tunnel, and some small bits where Tony and Doug were together, some people interacting. A lot of it other was stock footage, I believe, to help make it work. And you would not think it wasn't.
Unless you looked very closely and
that was out of so-and-so movie.
The movie.
Yeah, that sort of stuff.
Like in one episode where you watched, where it deals with Robin Hood and the Magna Carta, was it? Yeah, Magna Carta.
I don't know, I can't remember. Yeah, Robin Hood one,
Yeah, and you see a bit of footage that looks exactly like something from a lot of, Errol Flynn type movies. Robin Hood stuff.
Actually, speaking of borrowed footage, this one the main one we're going to review, the pilot, the Titanic. I think they borrowed some black and white footage out of A Night to Remember or something or other, because they already had the boat scenes and everything, and it would have been so expensive to recreate them, so they got them and they colorized them or filtered them or something to make it blend into the color production.
That was good.
Not bad, hey.
Smart move, that part.
Smart guy, Irwin, yeah.
Yes, so he was really smart and he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, pretty talented guy. Anyway, actually, just a quick thing. This time tunnel thingy, I mean, it was the way it was designed. It looks awesome. Now, if anyone's seen Forbidden Planet, the old movie with Paul the Pigeon in it, and Leslie Nielsen, they went inside the structure, whatever, inside where everything's happening, and it looked huge. It goes for so many miles in that, so many miles that direction, and so many miles that direction, and so many floors down. Well, this is in the same magnitude. It's supposed to be 800 levels. 800 levels. if I was a guy from the government, I would close down the operation too. It would be costing a monster.
Yeah. Anyway.
And 12,000 people run it.
Yes, but everyone disagrees with just shutting it down, and Tony and Doug want to prove him wrong.
So Tony runs up the into the kicks a button or something or other on the machinery, and he runs up in the time tunnel in the centre of it, and all of a sudden he disappears.
Yeah.
So he's gone somewhere, and they locate him, and they send Doug after him. Anyway, Sarah, do you want to take over the story before I start
they
telling you?
end up going to where the Titanic is being released, and that's where, and they try to prevent it from.
Yeah, they try to tell Captain Smith, hey, yeah, we're going to have a problem here. No, this boat is unsinkable.
Ha 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 ha. And
Wrong. No.
Bing. Yeah. Bing, it went down. And of course, our two travelers, they get stuck in a bit of a time loop. And it makes it harder for their colleagues to get them out.
Yeah, they can zone in on them. They can lock in. I think they've got some sort of radiation on them or something that helps them. They help the scientists at the time tunnel control room find them. But when they get them, they can lock on them. They have trouble bringing them back. So
yeah, often enough they're in groups with other people, and it makes it a little harder for them to get at least one or both of them in the same.
Yeah, if they've got to be close together so they can pull both at the same time, it makes it easier.
Yeah.
It's not impossible to do it otherwise, but and actually something in one of the episodes, they can actually take them in the same area and move them from point A to point B without going through time.
Yeah.
We found out in one of them.
And one or two or a few episodes, they accidentally bring the people from the past into the present, and it causes a bit of problems.
Also,
Yeah.
and they send things back. They sent things back to them.
Yeah, they sent a few weapons and stuff and equipment.
Yeah, it's hand grenades and machine gun. There was a battle there. The Greeks, wasn't it? That one?
Yeah.
Troy one?
Yeah, they try to send some weapons back.
Yeah, hand grenade stuff. That would do a bit of damage.
And of course, throughout the series, our two travelers, they get special outfits to wear to blend in. And and when they do finish up the episode, they are back in their original
old clothes
clothing.
again. Who washed them?
I don't know.
Oh no, they probably leave the dirt back in the old times where they left.
Beats me.
They were permanently cleaned.
Beats me. So it doesn't matter, but I guess it helps them to not look stick out.
Well, anyway.
Although they continue to stick
anyway.
out because most of the time, different dimensions, they're in different times.
Anyway, getting back to the Titanic, no matter what he does, they try to convince Captain Smith, whatever, that, hey, slow down, you're going to hit an iceberg, blah, blah, blah. And as we know, the Titanic went down. And they realise at that point they can't change history.
Yeah.
So no matter what they did, nothing was going to change.
Yeah.
So it's a big conundrum. People say, oh, if I go back in time, I would do things differently. You can't. It's been done.
Yeah, it's written.
So it is written. Let it be done.
Yeah, and that's another thing, guys. Apart from historic things, they also go back. There are also times when they meet, religious or mythology characters from history too. Like the Siege of Troy. If you heard of the story,
you keep saying the mythical.
Well, it's the story is full of stuff like mentioning gods and how the gods were having a contest, and then the lead goddess gave Paris I'll give you the most beautiful gift woman on earth and all that stuff.
So he went and stole her.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't get what's the gift? He went and stole her.
The Romans or Greeks that they thought Tony and Doug were gods, or
because they knew the future, they knew stuff. They knew their Greek history quite well, so they thought, well, these guys are really special.
And then there's also Robin Hood, which is still to scientists and to present historians, we still don't know if he exists or not.
Robin Hood, as far as I'm aware, is a folk hero based on a bit like people, like the Jewish people waiting for a redeemer. Well, these people there were waiting for some guy to rise up and save them from the oppression of the King John,
Yeah,
and that sort of stuff. And they made stories up about a deliverer who's going to be lead them into battle and do whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Speaking,
ideology.
Another example is the King Arthur legend that you may have heard about,
Okay.
which mentioned in this one where we do see Merlin who tries to coax the M2 travelers to helping him help King Arthur.
Actually, this is a strange one because Merlin actually appears in the time tunnel, and he brings Tony and Doug back using his magic because he wants to manipulate them. And he brings them back to the old time again. He doesn't bother to send them back home. Hello, Merlin, you're that good. Yeah, but no.
I guess not.
Yeah, but anyway,
It's all important.
but the point is, they jump from scenario to scenario. Most of them were historical, and some were like King Arthur. I mean, there is some archaeological evidence nowadays that there's a Roman guy called Arturus who was actually the person who was likened to be in the stories King Arthur. No, so yeah. But yeah, it just how much is romanticising and how much is reality and so how much is history. No one will ever know.
Yeah, another thing, there was another one where it deals with Bible, stuff, where it deals with the Wall of Jericho.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, you guys heard of me talk about the Ten Commandments. Well, this deals with Joshua and the Wall of Jericho and how the wall collapsed.
It came tumbling down. That's right.
Yeah, and of course, even the guys in the present try to piece together fantasy with reality.
Exactly.
Even though the lady who's this lady scientist keeps on thinking there's all a scientific explanation for everything. Even though I would say, as I said in the past, this was good. Not only good timing, it was a miracle.
Exactly. Even if it appears to be a natural occurrence, timings is the deciding thing. Yeah.
And when it comes to God, he is a real miracle worker when it comes to this
stuff. Well, this isn't about God; it's about TV series.
I know.
Now, I'm not saying it. I'm just going to say that we believe, and we don't want to force it down anyone's throat. Yeah.
So anyway, it's a big mixture of different things, and I almost wish. With all my heart, that this went on to doing at least 3 more seasons, or at least 4.
Yeah, they did 30 episodes, and then they pulled the plug.
Yeah, those stupid morons.
Look,
I'm not blaming the creator. I blame the studio.
The guys that funded the studio who funded it and said, no, we're not going to give you any more money. Blah 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 blah. And they put on something Custer, the Legend of Custer or something.
Yeah.
And that
how long did that last?
It's about 13 episodes, and they canceled because it was terrible. Wasn't making any money. Yeah, so much. And the guy who wanted to put the Return of Custer or whatever it's called on in this place wasn't accepted initially. So he had to. It was he had to go into lobbying everybody and trying to get everybody to see his way. And one person killed a good TV series which was making money, I believe, and replaced it with a crappy one which cost them money.
Yeah, another thing about this movie and the TV show, in the opening and closing film music was composed by none other than John Williams.
Called Johnny Williams back in those days because he's a lot younger.
Yeah, and you may know him for doing the Star Wars, Indiana Jones. Yeah, and all that stuff. You never thought he would do a TV show like this?
Well, he's been around for a long time, doing TVs and
But I do find it extraordinary.
Anyway, let's get back on to... I'm going to go through a couple of... I'm going to run through the episode list, just what they referred to and how they jumped around a little bit. I'm not going to talk about them. It starts off with... It's called Rendezvous with Yesterday. It was episode 1, the Titanic. Then they, at the end of that, as with most of them or all of them, they have a bit at the end, a bit like a teaser.
A cliffhanger.
Where they actually get taken out of that scene and taken to the next scene for the next episode, and you get about a minute of that or 30 seconds of that to give you a taste of what's to come.
Yeah.
So they went, after that, the Titanic, they bumped them 10 years into the future, one way to the moon. It was rocket to Mars. And then they took them back to 1910. There's a mining disaster and Halley's Comet. 1941 was the next one, Pearl Harbor. They went to 1815, the War of 1812 in Louisiana. Crack of Doom, that was 1883, Krakatoa erupting. And it went on and on like that. So it go whack to whack. And the only time it sort of steered a bit weird is when it went into the future, had to make those ones up. But all the ones going back in time were historical. And it went on to real places and things, the Barbary Coast and different things, and
But you gotta love
the Alamo and different things.
But you gotta love the stories that we often fantasize as children and try to make them a historic document. Part of this whole TV series.
I don't understand what you're talking about. You've
Well,
lost me.
I just meant like they're trying to document it as a historic thing, even though most of the stuff, like the fantasy, most of it's either a mixture of fantasy and reality and stuff.
You're not going to jump back in time and go see Bozo the Clown, are you? No, you're going to go somewhere that people can identify with.
Yeah, I do like the some of the famous TV actors they use. They're not famous like box office famous, but well known famous. Good.
Actually, what's his name? Del Monroe. Sarah's going to say, who the hell's Del Monroe?
All right.
Now,
who is he?
In one of these episodes, he plays one of the parts. I can't remember which one he's in, but he was one of the regular actors on the Voyage Above the Sea. He was Kowalski, and so he was there every episode in Voyage Above the Sea, and he did at least one of these ones as after the main roles. He was one of the next people down. One of the co-stars after. Who were attached to that site or time they're in. So it must be the same studio, just bouncing people around a lot.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I certainly liked the stock footage they used here and there.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
They were clever.
Now here's something, a bit of information, and we're talking about how they squashed it.
Yeah.
When it was cancelled, okay, as I've got some notes here. It says the time tunnel was scheduled on Fridays, and it was often considered the death zone for TV programs. No, quiet time. You put them there, you relegate them there because nobody watches TV much there on the way out. Put them there, push them out the door. That sort of stuff. But the ratings for the TV series were quite solid.
Cool.
And looked very likely that the series is going to keep getting renewed. So why the hell would something that was that good be left in a dead time channel zone? Why can't they put it on during the week or nothing where there's a good time zone for it, where people could enjoy it, get more viewers and make more money out of it?
I don't know.
I have got no idea.
Yeah.
But I'm only a mere mortal.
Yeah, I mean, I do like, what's his name again? Irwin.
Yeah.
I do like his sci-fi adventure TV shows. I certainly like Time Tunnel, and I like The Land of the Giants. Because when I was little, when I grew up with Land of the Giants.
On the reruns.
Yeah, I used to think that they were new to me because
new to me.
Because I was like 7 or 8 when I watched them, and I always thought, oh wow, this is the new TV shows all coming out, all that stuff.
You weren't born when
I never even knew that they were done years ago.
Yeah, I saw them the first time around.
Yeah.
I was a teenager. Yeah.
So I never even knew how old they were. I always thought they were brand spanking new around my time. I didn't know what year it was until much later on.
Yeah. Hey, going back to the Custer thing, the Legend of Custer. I've got some notes here I just found. It's quickly cancelled after airing 17 low-rated episodes and skewered by critics and perform worse than the Time Tunnel.
Oh man!
So yeah, and all because one guy wanted to do a western.
And who was that person?
Well, the guy, I don't know, some guy. I haven't got his name. And it says an ABC executive.
Oh, brother.
What does he know about programming? You know?
Don't know. Don't care. Don't give a rat.
So many mistakes have been made over the years when it comes to programming.
I
and
sometimes
squashing
think that sometimes these producers should be. I know some producers out there are a mixture of directors.
Well, look, now even producer directors like Irwin, they're still getting funded by the studios who are going to pump it out. So, like 20th Century Fox or whatever. Now, just going back on to just those TV series, I think all of them never run their full term. Because I remember Voyage Beyond the Sea, I'm pretty sure that didn't have an ending. I'm not sure. I have to go back and check that one. The Time Tunnel was cancelled before it didn't get renewed. Lost in Space. The Robinsons are still up there. They never came home. The Land of the Giants never came back home.
No, I always thought when I watched Land of the Giants, I always thought they were shrunken down. I haven't seen when I was little. I didn't see the pilot episode. I always mentioned they were shrunk down to a certain size.
Well, they went through some of the cosmic cloud then, and we believe they went through a dimensional warp or something into an alternate reality or something. But
I used to dream that maybe they were sort of like the Lost in Space crowd. They somehow got shrunk because of an experiment, and somehow who knows what happened. They're now
but the point they went on a flight an experimental space rocket thing, and they went through this cosmic cloud, and I think they went into an alternate reality, and they came back to a planet very similar to Earth. It never came out whether they were actually on Earth or on something which looked like Earth in another dimension or blah, blah, blah. It never came out. I saw it. There was no signs, no number plates on cars. You didn't see California or Arizona, and they had nothing on it. Nothing.
Yeah, it was. It just looked it just took place in probably the 70s or the.
Well, the same period.
Same period that you're in.
And that was really good for costuming. Didn't have to spend big money on it.
Except for our lead heroes, who I think I had a big crush on the guy in charge. He was so cute.
Yeah, I can't remember his name now.
I had a very big crush on him when I was little.
He was a good-looking guy, yeah.
He was my first crush when I was little.
Yeah. And they had an evil guy like a Dr. Smith on there.
Yeah, that's what it sticks out in my head.
And I can't remember who he played him at the moment. He's been in other things.
Well, we'll discuss it next time in our next podcast.
We might have a look at that one, yeah.
Yeah,
what else are we talking about? I don't say we can't, being a TV series, without pulling them all apart, we can't talk too much, otherwise we'll be here all night.
But you've got to admit that, Mike, that they were pretty good, and considering Irwin Allen, he was like he's a lot like the independent filmmakers we've discussed over the years.
Yeah.
I mean, year
and a half.
Considering that we've only started last year.
Yeah, end of January, wasn't it?
Yeah. So anyway, as I was saying, I do think that he was an independent guy, and he was doing a good job at what he was doing.
He created a lot of them too. So he didn't just say, "Oh, I've got an idea from a book or something, and I've got someone to write the script for me." Yeah. He some of these he co-wrote some. He created the idea.
I just like the fact he dived into the imagination.
Yeah,
no ifs, buts, or what ifs. Just dived in. You didn't put any questions to him.
And his imagination, I suppose, is what a lot of people don't have a good control of. Oh, I wouldn't mind making a movie about so and so, but putting those little blocks together and make it come together. I mean, it's easy doing a movie. You got something like an hour and a half.
Yeah, remember when I talked to you? Remember when we watched a documentary about Gilligan's Island, where where dear old Sherwood tries to pitch the idea to the executive producers, and they said, why can't you just do it change the characters week to week or day to day, and
make it
more interesting, not just the same lead cast members.
Well, considering it's stuck on an island, it's going to be very awkward.
Yeah, it would not make sense if
They couldn't get their head around the concept.
Yeah, so he tried to write up many story ideas, plots, on
They said something about, how many storylines could he get out of it? So he wrote up dozens of them. He said, there you go, another one, another one, another one, another. A little synopsis.
Yeah.
A synopsis for each episode, and they go, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we might be able to get some mileage out of it. But they had
I
no
mean,
idea.
they just didn't have a very big idea of how far the story would go.
Didn't they test it?
Yeah, they did. They did free screen audience tests with the some audience members,
areas, yeah.
and all of them laughed and
yeah.
enjoyed it, and the producers just
Couldn't understand why.
couldn't shook their heads and didn't understand why.
Well, I didn't understand the thing, but the people like it, so we will do it. So, and these guys are in charge. Hello.
I don't know.
And they can a good series. I mean,
After
when you get a good
seasons?
series, it needs an ending. I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
Even if it's a quick, blunt ending, it's got to be something.
Yeah, it does
yeah.
annoy me so many times when a series like this gets canned, and then you don't know what happens to the characters. You're left with an unfinished story and you never know whether they'll ever go home again, or whether they'll stay on the island, or in Land of the Giants' case, on that planet until the day they die or something.
Yeah, and you'd like some closure. Oh, wow, they got off. Gee, that was clever, wasn't it? And, yay, and they got off Gilligan's Island, got this and blah, blah. Yeah, it'd be really nice to have some closure.
I mean, a lot of...
unless it's a really crappy series, no one's watching it. But if you've got a lot of people watching something, it'd be really nice to finish it.
Exactly. I mean, when they did these new TV series coming out, like Supernatural or Buffy, there's always closure on those shows.
And they say, there's what's one of those kids were looking for the dad? The Supernatural one. Was that the Supernatural? Or?
Yeah, it's the Supernatural.
Okay, they went looking for the dad who had been chasing demons or something or other, and they went looking for dad because something went wrong, and they were following his trail. So you would like to think, I didn't see the series, but you'd like to think somewhere along the lines, they would have teamed up with Dad and everything happy and smiley. They saved him from a demon or something or other and brought him home in his old car.
Yeah.
These old cassettes.
But then
Happily ever after.
But I've heard a lot of other stories from it. I haven't catched up on the Supernatural because I used to watch the first season, but then I got kind of bored and...
Too samey?
Yeah, because it was getting kind of samey, them chasing demons. There was even a sort of Scooby-Doo episode, I seem to recall, where they meet the original members from the cartoon.
Scooby-Doo? Really?
Yeah. And
what does Scooby-Doo look like?
And one of the guys was really,
Shaggy?
Was into Daphne, the pretty redhead.
Fred? No.
Daphne.
No, the guy. You mean one of the guys, the Supernatural guy?
Yeah, one of the Supernatural guys was into Daphne because
Daphne was cute.
She's a cute little
Who's
redhead.
the smart one? Thelma, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I like Thelma.
I think
she was
Thelma
smart.
liked the smart one. Oh man, I never get tired of watching Scooby-Doo. I mean, I watched it with my niece and nephew a couple of times before they...
Scooby-Doo is ageless, I think.
Yeah.
A bit like I wouldn't say like Tom and Jerry. Tom and Jerry get a bit old now, but Scooby-Doo's fun. Yeah,
I've watched a few of the old episodes with my niece and nephew not too long ago, and they enjoy it. I especially enjoyed sharing with them the one about the Ghouls school, which was pretty cool. They got really taken by that one.
Yeah, they like creepy stuff. Hey, let's go back to Irwin Allen now.
Sorry, guys.
Now, actually, one thing I've noticed, I'm going to talk generally from what I've seen about, through his TV series and like. He had a way of using a lot of footage over again, like in Voyage of the Bottom of the Sea, which we'll probably review. A lot of the underwater shots and where the submarine's going across the surface and different things, they reuse the shots episode after episode, maybe not 2 episodes in a row. We sank to the bottom and we found a plateau, and it's the same plateau they had about 2 episodes ago, and it's the same film footage. So he was very economical in reusing the footage to make it look good. And it blended quite nicely. He had the same underwater scenery. He had a little science station there. I saw 2 or 3 times in the episodes, destroyed by in one of them. And lo and behold, a few episodes later, it's been reused in another episode for another purpose. That's good recycling, folks.
Yeah, I gotta admit.
Yeah.
You were never. Well, if you watch the whole episode, all the episodes really carefully, you do notice this sort of stuff.
Yeah, and they lost in space. I mean, look at that spaceship was probably about, the model was probably about 2 foot across maybe, or 8 inches across, somewhere, and all the other stuff they made was probably about the same, but 18 inches high, 2 foot high and stuff. And the only thing was, this thing was the sound stage or the set they had for inside the spaceship.
Yeah.
So and when you got that, so everything can be done in one room almost. Saves money, and then some outside
I gotta admit,
scenes
when I
and
look
there's
at
no
when I
props.
look at Land of the Giants and compare it with Gilligan's Island, there's some similar things in common there.
Yeah.
There's a wealthy man in the Land of the Giants. There's a beautiful actress, I think,
I know what
and
it is, yeah. I haven't seen it for a while,
and
yeah.
of course the stewardess. But
And
that's
had a young boy, he could be a Gilligan, who he had
And-
a handsome captain. And,
Of course, there's the wealthy guy, but we can and the bad guy who's sort of who stole some money.
stole some money
Who
and
was
he
like
was-
our Mr. Smith from the,
so he had this antagonist, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's
the naughty guy.
Yeah, but he sort of works with the others, even though
When it suits him.
yeah, and sometimes he's deprived of the money that he's kept
Well, he
hidden.
can't spend it.
No, not. I mean,
Where's he going to spend it?
true. You can't. I mean, there were moments where he is tempted to give up his money to save someone else. He likes the little kid in the
No,
story.
he gets along with the little kid, but
Yeah,
but Dr. Smith and Will Robinson get along too.
yeah, true.
Even though Will Robinson's folks and what's the other guy? The guy who flew the spaceship car. Don.
Ah.
I can't remember his name.
I gotta admit
Yeah.
though, when I look at these shows, they often depict, closeness.
Yeah. Good family values. Yeah.
Yeah, getting a little bit closeness and getting people together.
The Robinsons, see, you look at the Robinsons in Lost in Space. Think of the Robinsons and then Swiss family Robinsons who got marooned on an island. You think they got the idea from that?
True.
Aha! It's like you showed me something some time ago. It was kidnapped.
Yeah.
Not kidnapped. Treasure Island.
Ah, yeah.
Treasure Island in space, a futuristic version of Treasure Island. So yeah, you can take the same theme and put it in a different location, and it still works. Yeah.
I gotta
Clever.
admit though, I do enjoy this sort of stuff.
Anyway.
Anyway-
we're probably boring these people jumping
Yeah,
from topic
sorry.
to topic. It's really hard to make a TV series. If we start getting into episodes, it'll just drag on. If we
Yes.
if we focus on it too lightly, it's too short.
Yeah, I'm sorry guys. I mean, I do have some favorite episodes. I do like the War of the Jericho, the Robin Hood one, the one about the Siege of Troy, and I do like let me see I think the one with the pirate episode one. What's it called?
The pirate one.
Dead Island.
Yes, I want.
Yeah.
Pirates of Dead Man's Island, I think it's
Which is
called.
kind of cool. Which required one of their people in the real world, in the
present
future,
world,
to
yeah.
come to the aid of the some
in
of
the
the
past.
people in the past.
A one-way ticket.
yeah,
yeah.
meaning he wanted to stay
He's
there
a doctor and he wanted to go and help the people because there's a battle on.
because
So
he's
he
a
was
retired
retiring.
doctor,
Yeah.
and that means he won't be able to get any jobs in the
Yeah,
present.
who wants an old doctor who's retired? Yeah, so
Yeah.
he went there. He said, "I'll get another 10 or 15 years usefulness." So
Yeah,
so
I
he
mean-
went back in time.
Back in the old days, people would often work. I mean, doesn't matter how old you were. Just they'll
Work till you drop.
Work till you
Drop.
can if you can still hack the job.
See, we're working. I'm retired.
Yeah.
But whatever.
So he did some good work there, and I like the King Arthur one, obviously, and well,
Yeah,
that's all. I mean, I just like the ones that deal with fantasy and
You see, likes fantasy. I like horror and sci-fi.
and I do like a bit of
Yeah.
the religious part to it
Well,
because
look, religious because
or and
it's
famous
part of our social heritage.
and
But
famous people that you may be familiar with in history.
yeah. Well, yeah. I think this one here. I don't know which one it is, but there's one about the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. That's that's the series as well, and they tried to stop it.
Uh-oh.
Well, it can't because it's part of history,
Yeah.
that sort of stuff.
If it didn't happen, what would it?
Well, everything would change. I mean, okay, let us bring it forward. Okay, let's say that he's a prime. I don't want to speak about anybody real, but if you had, okay, let's say the President of the United States or the Queen of England or the Prime Minister of Australia, one of those guys got shot.
Yeah.
Okay, what's going to happen?
No.
Anything that person was going to do wouldn't get done necessarily because the next person would do it. So if you went back in time and did that, everything that person had done could be totally undone. It could mean we had a war, we didn't have a war, the economy went good, the economy went bad, people were born, people died, but everything would have been different.
True.
Yeah, some things would be same, but a lot of things would have been different. So
Wasn't one of the episodes dealing with I think either World War One or World War Two developing their own time tunnel?
yeah, that was it was about the same time, but 10 years earlier. Not it was after the war.
Okay, after
And
the
it was
war.
in a European country. Obviously, we're going to think, hey, Russia, but it might have been somewhere else. And they had their own time tunnel thingy in operation or trying to get it happening, and they ended up there, and they were roped into as prisoners to try help them set it up to work it. And they didn't want to, so they actually rewired it wrong, so it wouldn't work. So a few things like that, yeah. But they didn't say it was Russia. They didn't say it was Germany. They didn't say where it was. It was just implied it was Europe somewhere.
Yeah, I do like the
Yeah.
running around
Yeah.
chasing and the excitement
Yeah,
of
it's
these
great.
episodes. That's one of the things I like most, the excitement. Every single moment there's a new problem or a new twist on the story that leaves you wondering, will these guys get out or not?
And now they're going to die this time.
Or whether or not they'll get out.
That's another point too. They can't change history, right?
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 Right.
Because obviously everything would change. But they've left now and they've gone back in history. They could die. That wouldn't change anything.
True.
Well, we shouldn't think so anyway. So unless they just won't come back for
Yeah.
breakfast.
By the end of the
Yeah,
final episode, they went back to the Titanic episode again,
Oh yeah, it's full cycle. Yeah, and they're back.
making it more of a loop, if you will.
a time loop, which they have to go through the whole thing over and over again. And that would have been a good time to end it. So probably they could have they did the time tunnel Titanic one again, and this time around they got pulled off and they
Yeah.
brought them home.
Yeah, I imagine they
Would have been a good way to get them done.
I do feel sorry for the curator for not being able to complete his story. He must have had a few more ideas in the creative bowl of his that to make it look to continue the story on for
A
another
little bit of
season.
grey, the old grey cells that were very overactive.
Maybe
yeah,
even
yeah.
make some new special effects here and there.
Well, see, that was a problem. That's when he had to contain his costs, so he couldn't spend lots on special effects. So he made do with what he had.
Yeah,
And
like-
actually, the time tunnel computer control room.
Yeah.
They're real computers
Wow.
behind them. It's army surplus. The computer system was decommissioned, so they got their hands on these and they put the real computer memory banks behind them to make it look like a real computer network.
Yeah, I do like
So,
it
yeah,
when they use the same footage at the opening where they look like they're spinning through a weird type of
Kaleidoscope-y thingy.
kaleidoscope
yeah.
thing. That
Yeah.
looks really cool.
But anyway, it's
Anyway,
irrespective.
let's-
we have been waffling on long enough trying to pad this out to
Yeah,
45
so
minutes.
let's rate this
not
TV
being-
show now.
Not being rude, but just that, we just need to pad out the shorter ones a bit more.
Okay, let's
so.
rate this one.
Look,
Okay.
honestly, now, Irwin Allen is a very bright man.
Agreed.
Or he probably could be dead now, I don't know. Probably is. Now, Irwin Allen had his time in the sun. He made some damn fine TV series.
Agreed.
which is one of them. He made some damn fine movies. One of our favourite disaster movies is an Irwin Allen movie, The Towering Inferno. And I can't fault the guy.
Me neither.
The only constraints I've got, say, with the TV series, is budget constraints. But he works well within those constraints. He works good with what he's been given to work with. His special effects, minimal as they are, the model making, the acting, the camera work, everything, storylines. So I'm going to give you 9.5. Yeah, 9.5. Yeah, 9.5.
I'm going to give him 9.5 too.
Yeah, because
I do like his creativity and how he was able to merge old footage with new footage.
Yeah, and make it seamless and stuff. And he even colorise the black and white stuff a bit. Yeah. Now, the point is that guys like that, they're almost an independent. He's a producer, director, creator, co-writer sometimes. Yeah, there's not too many of these guys. It's like the old troubadours used to go around writing songs and singing and playing them. There's not too many of those guys around anymore. So someone who could take it from an idea and have the end result.
I just hate it when producers or the executive producer guys, they want to can certain TV shows, and especially when you look like Lucifer, for example.
Lucifer's been hot and cold. It's a damn fine series, and I love Lucifer.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for the next series 5, is it?
And there was
what's next one?
I don't know when it's going to happen.
No, what is it? Next 5? Next 5 or 4? There's 3 or 4 seasons so far, whatever. And it's got there, and you go, oh, great. I can't wait to see the next season. Ribbit.
Yeah.
So it's, oh, come on, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I do get annoyed that I just hate it when they can a TV show, like even if it's just for one season. Like they did one of The Omen with the about the Damien, the
boy,
the little boy, all grown up, and he tries to deal with the fact that he's the Antichrist, and
whatever it is.
he doesn't want the.
He doesn't want a job.
No, he doesn't want the job.
Yeah.
But it doesn't stop the devil's followers try to twist his arm.
You. Go away. See, look at Damien too. I mean,
I mean, it's only ended on season 1, which ended there.
And why did it die? Because maybe the storylines are too thin. Maybe
It's probably too thin.
Yeah.
No, as I said.
And nobody liked watching it. I mean, so you had The Omen, then you had Omen 2, and then you had Damien. You had about 3 or 4 movies in the Omen series.
You also had the Norman Bates TV series, you know, the Bates Motel?
And that was, you had the movie then spin off the Bates Motel thingy.
Which lasted for
several seasons.
5 seasons.
Yeah, and we watched one season?
Yeah, we watched one season.
It was, I don't know I couldn't get into it. I mean, the acting wasn't bad and everything, but there's just something wasn't good. But I mean, the actor, what's his name? Buglugs. The guy in The Good Doctor.
I'm trying to remember his name. I'm bad with names.
I got a mental block too.
I know for a fact he's been in a number of good movies and TV shows I've watched that were pretty great.
He's not a bad actor, and he does Norman Bates pretty good. But I think maybe the storylines just aren't strong enough. I mean, or they're trying to pad it too much. And how much can we milk it? Yeah,
good point.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But I like the actor. He's a good guy. I like him in The Good Doctor and stuff. He plays a good doctor? No. No, he plays a good role in The Good Doctor. He played an autistic surgeon or whatever he is.
Yeah, my point is, guys, I just hate it when they just end a TV show before it even begins to develop something.
They can something good and they pad out something which is average. I don't understand it. I am a mere mortal. Yeah,
I know over the years that whenever a New Year Open comes up, they always introduce a new TV series here and there. I mean, it just annoys me that sometimes they just pretty much decide to can a season if it wasn't going so well or it's getting good reviews
it's good. It's easy to can a season if it doesn't have continuity. We watch a lot of British humour. Are you being served? Okay.
Yes.
A good British comedy. But each show was a standalone story.
Exactly.
You can end it any time you liked. Mm-hmm. That's it. But when you got someone who's got a bit of a continuity thing happening, you can't just close them down without going, what the? Yeah, come on.
Well, Are You Being Served, after all?
Yeah.
It was all, as you said, standalone episodes.
Yeah.
And there was no...
there's no continuity.
There's no final episode that indicated...
You didn't need a final episode. Yeah, that's the whole point.
Although they did try to... I think they tried to do a spin-off of Are You Being Served with using the original cast members.
Yeah, they
but
did some,
I think that sunk...
They died pretty bad.
Because with the original cast members.
But, well, they're getting old and the humour's getting stale.
And it took place away from the department store, whatever.
Yeah.
Which
that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Didn't they have a motel? No, that was something else.
They lived in a sort of a hotel, and all the members lived together, and they wore their casual stuff.
Yeah, it didn't work. Yeah. But I think I saw one of them. Milking it. If you want milk, go to a farm with moo cows. Okay. Do not milk a TV series.
Yeah, especially one that
you won't get any milk out of it. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so I'm going off track here again.
We do a lot.
We've
been derailed.
So, see, this is going to be the end of this episode. So thanks for watching this one with us. So I'm Sarah Stephenson.
And Michael.
And we'll see you guys for the next one.
Oh, goody!
Cheerio,
Can't wait,
guys.
Bye.
Bye.